have watched you, Mr. President. You stand for everything that we have hoped for in an African man. Courageous, fearless, and in their faces. France, unapologetically, you told France, pack your bags and go home.
Without any further ado, guys, let's just jump right in this video. This video is about Dr. Arikana Chihombori. She's in Burkina Faso to honor Ibrahim Traoré in her speech and for his leadership, for his bravery, and for standing up to the Western countries and the colonizers. And she brought along with her some diasporas, African descendants who have never been on the continent. This is their first trip, and imagine it is your first trip. You get to meet one of the greatest presidents we ever had on the continent, Captain President Ibrahim Traoré. And shout out to the Make Africa Great channel. This video is taken from his channel. Great guy, love his channel. He does great videos on the continent. If you want to know anything more about the continent, go visit Make Africa Great Again channel. Shout out. Hopefully I get to collaborate with you soon. I'll reach out to you and soon in time to come. So let's dive into this speech by Dr. Arikana Chihombori honoring Burkina Faso President Ibrahim Traoré. Let's go.
Being here in the country of the upright man is a dream come true. To President Traoré, the reincarnation of Thomas Sankara, President Traoré, who has led the struggle to complete the unfinished business that was started by our ancestors and our Pan-African leaders in 1963 when they created the Organization of African Unity. During that meeting, they demanded the creation of an Africa that spoke with one voice, an Africa that was united. That journey is yet to be finished. What is happening in Burkina Faso, in Mali, in Niger, is just the beginning of a revolution that is way past due for Africa. Africa must unite, and Burkina Faso has shown us the way. They have opened the doors. They have shown us that the bully can be defeated. That no more shall we continue to give up our lunch. That we too need to eat. And therefore, there is no negotiating with the bully. The bully had to go, and Burkina Faso showed us how to do it. So, Mr. President, I bring you your children, descendants of the formerly enslaved. They have waited over 400 years to return the spirits of their ancestors back home to Africa. When the children of Africa were taken out of Africa as slaves, all they ever wanted to do was to come back home to Africa. Each and every one of them that you see, many of them are coming to Africa for the first time. They're bringing with them the spirits of their ancestors to put them to rest here in Burkina Faso. And that's mission number one. Mission number two, we have watched you, Mr. President. You stand for everything that we have hoped for in an African man. courageous, fearless, and in their faces. France, unapologetically, you told France, pack your bags and go home. You, Mr. President, and the people of Burkina Faso have done it, and we have a responsibility to support you. You have over 300 million African diaspora who are looking up to you. We are here to show you that we are with you. We support you. We are behind you. And we will not let you down. Many of us were told, don't go to Burkina Faso. It's a war-torn country. Guns all over the street. Mr. President, we want you to know that the more they told us not to go to Burkina Faso, the more we ran to Burkina Faso. No one tells them not to go to Europe, to their countries of origin. Therefore, no one will tell us not to come home to Burkina Faso. So mission number 2 is to let you, Mr. President, know that you and the citizens of Burkina Faso have done all the heavy lifting. The least we can do is to support you. So we are here. Our third mission is to see what can we do, Mr. President, to play our part in building the Burkina Faso we want.
There's a speech. I love that speech. The way her presence, the way you can see how she loves what Ibrahim Traoré is doing, her enthusiasm for what he represents. And also she brought up Thomas Sankara. Thomas Sankara was and is one of the first, no, not the first, but one of the first to actually work for his citizens and to build the country and to go against colonizers. And he was, unfortunately, his time was cut short by the French and the Americans who planned and carried out his assassination by his best friend, who took over and, you know, derailed the country's growth from since 1987 to be exact, when he was assassinated. Now, Ibrahim Traoré came along, took up the mantle, doing exactly what Thomas Sankara wanted to do, and then some. So we recognize this, and she recognizes this, and that's why she's in Burkina Faso to honor Ibrahim Traoré and shout it out on the mountaintops to make everyone knows that this is what a leader is supposed to be, supposed to look like, and this is why the Burkina citizens love Ibrahim Traoré so much, because of his honesty, his masculinity, his way of leading, what he's accomplishing without the help from colonizers or the IMF or the World Bank or anyone. He's doing it on his own with his citizens, cheering behind him every step of the way, and for expelling all who does not want the country to move forward. So let's listen to what Ibrahim Traoré is saying in this, also to the response to what he just heard from Dr. Arikana chihombori. Let's dive into what he's talking about, and then we're going to discuss a little bit.
I am moved and very happy to see you here in Burkina Faso since the events of the SNC. It is more than a pleasure that you have chosen to come here to Burkina. You have surely been told that it is a country frequentable. We told you that it's death here, it's war.
C'est un pays infréquentable. On vous a dit que c'est la mort ici, c'est la guerre. Il n'y a que du négatif.
There is only negative. We painted Burkina black here, only blood flows, weapons. This is what is said elsewhere. Thank God you arrived safely. You were able to be about the lasso, live with us, our culture. What binds us Africans, you were able to communicate.
vivre avec nous notre culture, ce qui nous lie, nous Africains.
With many other nationalities who came to celebrate with us, everything went very well. You are of our standing, and I hope that you are very well received, very well lodged, and that you managed to communicate with your brothers here. It is one important message that you send too.
C'est un message important que vous envoyez à tout le monde.
Everyone, and nay, you will be the ambassadors of this message when you return home, that Burkina is very frequentable. We live in Burkina Faso. What they want to make you believe that is not the Burkina is what he draws to get people to flee Burkina, and they depict all of.
C'est ce qu'il dessine pour amener les gens à fuir le Burkina. Et c'est toute l'Afrique qu'il dépeint comme ça.
Africa like that for them. Africa is misery, Africa is famine, Africa is war, which is responsible for these wars. We need to unite. But they have always been there to divide us to be able to reign better. Slavery our ancestors experienced. Until today we are fed up in our.
Mais ils ont toujours été là pour nous diviser, pour pouvoir mieux régner. L'esclavage.
Flesh, but it continues. The grandfather was deported, torture, and still, when they had their war we supported him. They paid us in monkey money. Others were killed when they tried to claim. Several of them died in their village. With the after effects of the war, never recognized the work of the African, our mission. It is first of all to awaken Africa, and who better than you from the diaspora, to make people understand what Africa is. When I see you united in this association, I feel even more proud, because it is all we ask for. Today our fight is to be able to unite, because united we are strong. To divide we are weak. They have always worked to divide us. I urge you to spread the message, so that Africa can unite. We have been lucky or unlucky enough to live through war for several years, and at one point we had to say enough is enough. We are fed up.
Ils ont toujours travaillé à nous diviser. Je vous exhorte à passer le message pour que l'Afrique puisse s'unir.
We have taken our responsibilities, and we let us realize today more than ever that we were right to take our responsibilities. Because these armies were installed here, were never able at any time to monitor our territory, to see the terrorists who came to kill us, and
Et nous nous rendons compte aujourd'hui plus que jamais que nous avons eu raison de prendre nos responsabilités. Parce que ces armées étaient installées ici.
leave with all the means they had. When we asked to leave today, we were able to acquire a good number of means which allows us to wage our war, and to ward off the threat, and to indicate, I would say, we were able to equip our forces and reconstitute our armies. They
un bon nombre de moyens qui nous permet de faire notre guerre et d'éloigner la menace et de l'endiguer, je dirais.
don't like that. Obviously, they will create other plans, but we are here and we will hold on thanks to you, who are far from them who support us.
Mais nous sommes là et nous tiendrons grâce à vous qui êtes loin et qui nous soutenez.
We will always stand because the African is resilience. We have suffered enough. The first thing you could do for Africa is to send the positive message. Enough looting, enough death. It is time that we unite and work. We only ask to live with dignity, to live.
Assez de morts. Il est temps qu'on s'unisse et qu'on travaille. Nous ne demandons qu'à
Free, pass the message to awaken consciences. Some leaders always try to put their people to sleep and continue to pierce their people. For the benefit of the West, this must stop. Who better than you to convey this message to the different people? Africa must wake up.
Qui mieux que vous pour passer ce message aux différents peuples?
Young people must wake up and no longer allow the same policy continue. It is not possible. Africa is still virgin. Everything is business in Africa. Look at how our cities are. We can also develop our health and education systems. We can develop everything. So in this rich
Nous pouvons aussi développer nos systèmes de santé.
diaspora, we have all the specialties. Today in Burkina, we are thinking about set up one university polytechnic, just to train scientific engineers, and I think you will be welcome to learn the second time, because as long as we do not
Et je pense que vous serez les bienvenus pour
train the youth so that we ourselves can produce and transform here. On site we will always remain slaves. Sovereignty is all together. We are fighting for food self-sufficiency. Those who can invest in the agri-food industry to transform our products here, you are welcome, producing us everything here. Everything grows on our soils. We have experienced everything. After a year or so, everything grows in Burkina. Those who want to invest in agriculture are welcome. Those who want to invest in processing are welcome. Education, we want to transform the school, because the formatting that we are currently experiencing, it is from the school. They have channeled us, so that the intellectuals for the most part cannot think, get out of the furrows that they have a trace. Thank God the conscious ones are waking. Up. We need more. We need to change the educational system. You are welcome. And there are many other paths. They were in plundering our wealth. Today we are regaining control. And we are never going to leave our wealth behind, because we want to live. We want to see our children cared for, educated, grow up in peace and live in a healthy environment. So we are open, and you will be welcome in Africa to develop. Your continent, to unite your continent, and to pass on the message of this unity. It is very important. Continue to pass on the message, so that the young people wake up, who no longer leaves us leaders, to make slaves for others. This should not be allowed. There are certain countries today where we want to send messages, but I think that your voices carry even more, because you are ambassadors. Wherever you are, whether in America, in Europe, your Caribbean, you are ambassadors. And when you speak, it can wake you up, and I urge you to speak. This is the mission that I entrust to you, to wake up the continent. Have a good stay. May God await you, Paul. Thanks a lot.
Basically, his message to these African descendants and diasporas, first-time visitors, saying, take what you see and hear here and shout it out on the mountaintops when you return to your country to showcase what is happening in the continent. And just I'm telling you, Ibrahim Traoré is a masterclass of what he's doing. He's unapologetically himself, and a Pan-Africanist and leader, someone who we need to get, someone we have to get emulated. We have to have other presidents emulate what he's doing for the continent to go even at a more faster pace in growth and kicking out imperialists, all the colonizers, all of the neocolonialism, to get rid of all of that. This is the man to do it. This is the face of the continent. And imagine meeting this president, clearly a hero of mine. This is one of a person I can get behind and say, this is a hero, this is a person, this is a man who's supposed to be a man. I want to say a man, I mean, this is that person supposed to be a man who can lead a country to prosperity and to get rid of all of the negativity and all of the so-called all African leaders are corrupt and are greedy and all of this. This is the one we can stand behind and replicate his leadership to the world. To the world, to the rest of the continent anyway, not to the world, because the world won't follow, because they need Africa, we don't need them. So anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comment section, about this speech, what to think of it. Let me know in the comment section, and I'll always respond. Tell a friend, like, comment, share, and subscribe as well. Thanks for listening. Return soon for new videos that's coming out. Thanks. Boom.